just continuing on here as I'm studying my body with withdrawing from energy drinks, oil, not alcohol just yet, a fan and heat. So basically what I'm withdrawing from is privileges. The privilege of smoking oil and discerning more and communicating with the gods of the earth. Well, I'm just gonna have to do that with a sober mind. Alcohol doesn't give you discernment of any sort. If anything, it may take it away. In all likelihood, people just cause traffic jams just because they like to just do it. I don't know, because their app tells them to. That's the thing that, again, Satan's time is up. Just like SJD said, Acts 1:1:1, the act already took place. The act, like I'm tired of the actors and the acting and the scripts, and I know it's necessary and has to be done. But it needs to just be real, and the gang stalking corporation has to be stomped out. Like the root and the branch. Uprooted, and the tree and the branches, all of it needs to go, because it's completely unnecessary. There's nothing. They get paid for that. Well, that's what happens when Satan's in charge. We never had peace on earth. Now, Satan was bound for 1,000 years, and when he's loosed and his angels are loose, he's going to be loose from his prison. He's going to be loose, free. Like free. You don't have to work like that anymore. You don't have to put in all that work of trying to deceive people and make people sick and disgusted with the gang stalking corporation. Because what is the point of it? To test you and put you through the fiery trials? Alright, fine. But time has an end. There's a time to gang stalk. There's a time to die. And when you die, your career is ended. There's a time to stop at a red light. There's a time to go through the yellow light that turns red. The angel of death is what's here. What do you think? The angel of death is evil? Just because it says death? Well, it also says angel. But death is, like, let's say, so I'm in this YouTube platform. I've watched some videos before. I learned how to make hoods. That's why my name was Robin's Hood. That's why I named my eBay store Robin Hoods, DZYN, because design was already taken. So Robin Hoods with a Z and then DZYN. I learned how to make hoods, and a hood is what covers all of the components in the engine. The hood is the icing on the cake when you make a pretty damn cool hood, like a jet fighter. I just want to get back into what I love doing, and I envision being free, where I no longer have limitations to anything. The house that I live in is brand new, and it's electromagnetic free. Whether that's possible to still live with a fan or use a windmill outside to produce natural air with like a belt. That way there's no... when a motor spins, it just sends out that pulsing sensation, just like the heaters do. So I envision living in an area where the weather is perfect year round, and there's a beach that's right there, and I get to drive whatever car I want. And the same thing for my wife, because she endured this with me. Even if she was part of the corporation, I'd forgive her for lying the entire time. But man, if she is, boy, she's a good actress. Very good. Has me convinced. So. But it's everywhere else. Me and my wife have never lived by ourselves. I've always had my son with us, and her son. Because I fought for custody for my son. Even though sons will turn against their fathers and put them to death, or, think they will, because that's what the scripture says. Even though that takes place with fathers in reality, and you fight for your children, it's just the way it is. I learned how to fight and win in the court of law. I learned how to do detective work. So before I hopped on YouTube, you guys are in trouble beforehand, because I've already gained full custody of my son, who was 7 years old, from his mother. And that just doesn't happen, does it? And I only got out of jail 2.5 years beforehand. So, in order to take custody of a child from its mother and be a criminal, ex-criminal with a record, as long as my arm, I can't afford to commit any more crimes, I steal a piece of bubble gum, I'm going to do 6 months in jail just like that because of my record. I pushed the limit. But I learned how to fight for truth and prove it. So I proved it in a court of law. I have evidence of just the simple fact that my kid lives with me. But I have the court records proving Robin Tees has full custody of Christian Robin Tees. Not that he's anything like me at all. Doesn't even look like me. Looks like more like his mom. But the point is, it's a soul, it's a life. And his life was horrible. And he may take me for granted, like most people do, because the things that I say, there's no evidence of it. But I tell you what, the sign of Jonah being Harold Camping, yeah, it kind of makes more sense back then. This time around, that second 9/11 sure seems like it's on the table. And it sure seems like it's going to take place right where I said it was, exactly, on the exact day, too. But I've thought that before. So let's just say that does take place. That's it. I don't have to prove anything else ever again in my entire life. It's over. I've done all my work. I've proven everything I could. And that's like putting a jet fighter on top of my truck. Icing on the cake. One of my hoods that I need to get back into doing. And then, because I fought Jezebel, I believe that she is Satan's actual daughter, if not son, turned into a woman. Had a baby. Who knows? sent in my direction, like as in a gang stalking move. It's like someone just sent her in my direction. And then even when I went to jail for 4 months, and she was right there looking for me again, finding me. Like, man, I can't get away from you. And that was before I even had a kid. Then I got trapped. Then as soon as I was getting ready to kick her out for good, all of a sudden she got pregnant. And then 20 years later, here we are. Christian, my son. So he may take advantage and not really appreciate the father that he has. But there's a time coming. I didn't do all this for nothing. My body isn't buzzing for nothing. My wife didn't have to put up with me for the past 5 years of being on YouTube for nothing. So when I hopped into the YouTube platform, I was already ready. And then not to mention, even before, when I worked for the apparently what Steve is saying, the Italian mafia, the Ventrescas. But there's no evidence of that. Although Reds was like the gangster, and he was, I just sensed at that one job site where that guy David, he was like 350 pounds, and I was, well, he was actually Goliath, but his name was David. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but to sum it up in about a minute, my company that I worked for bought the area of the apartments, the land. They took over they bought it. So the land was still there in the apartments, and the people that ran it in the office, and he was one of them, but he never knew how to remodel the apartments. He only knew how to manage it by maintenance management. And so we started to do the remodeling, and I gave him the list of what to do. The first apartment was perfect. And then after that, the next apartment was the ladies that lived there, the supervisor. I didn't give him the list. He gave me an attitude towards things. Towards the end, her bedroom, the ceiling collapsed. Right. The whole ceiling collapsed the day before she was supposed to move in. From that point on, he sabotaged my work by using his little maintenance managers to do his dirty work for him, because he wasn't getting up off his ass. And but he never made me fail. I never failed. And I did like over 100 apartments in a year and a half. Made a lot of money and spread it through to other people. But I didn't really get paid on time either by my boss. But his partner seemed to cause problems as well. Reds, you seem to cause problems for me. And I just dealt with it. And afterwards, I had enough. So I wrote my 9 pages, my 7 pages of facts, my opening statement, my closing statement, and I handed it to the vice president of the company and told him I'm out because of this reason. I know what he's doing, but I can't literally prove it, but here's all the circumstantial evidence. A few months, and I told him I'll come back to work when he's gone. A few months later, he got fired because of my letters, because of my letter, my pages. So again, before I hopped into YouTube, I was already a defense attorney, not getting paid for it, being attacked, being accused. My kid's mom said I was beating my son. She accused my wife of beating him, and had DHS come to my house. My parole officer had to come out. The detectives came to my house. All because of lies. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why am I being attacked so much? Then, with the work, the job, because I took on the job. I said, yeah, I'll take it on as the supervisor of, a working supervisor. Although I wasn't supposed to work, but I had to in order to save the job. So, and I had my family work there. I had my stepmom and my brother-in-law move into the apartments there because I guaranteed them work. So I stuck it out for them, gave them jobs, Although my brother-in-law was, I said it would take a minute, but maybe a little longer. He started drinking. No, he didn't start drinking. He just didn't stop. He would come in smelling like severe alcohol. He wound up getting fired. Then my stepmom's living there, Karen, with him and stuck. And then she's the only one working. But I never got fired. Just like you two. You never cut me off. Just like my kid's mom. I never gave up. I continued to go through court, through the system, through the few years, and I gained custody of my evil son. So what? That's the only thing true in gematria with 914. Steve knows it because, I mean, you know it. You see what he does day in and day out. I can only understand what he does. Just like the app that everybody else has. So I didn't give up with my kid and fighting against Jezebel, Satan's daughter. Right click? It's not a coincidence that you call that place a meth lab. All these years. Who's Elizabeth Berkman? You mentioned something about, what was her name? 666? Not her, but the other him. Adrian. Yeah, Adrian. Wow. Wow. She did have big feet. And her boyfriend's name was Brian Cockerham. Was that a fake name? Anyway, when someone can mention something about something that happened over 20 years ago, you've been around for a while, right? So I won custody of my kid, prepared how to be a defense attorney. I didn't hire a lawyer. I didn't have a public defender or nothing. I did it myself and won. Same thing with the working environment. I succeeded the year and a half. I never failed. And then I resigned because enough's enough. And I'll come back when he's fired. And that's exactly what happened. He got fired. That all prepared me for the YouTube platform. So I just want to give people, even the rulers, I want you to understand that not that I wanted to go through any of this shit, but God prepared me for it. Now you can call it gang stalking. You can, the God of the earth can try to still take credit. Well, so I prepared you then, didn't I, Robin? No, no matter what anybody does in an evil way, I'll use it for good. And that's what the Spirit of God is. Using it for good. Anybody want to call that number back? Feel free. So when that prepares me that I did not know I was going to hop into the YouTube hellhole. I did not know I was going to hop into Jerusalem and make it new. Because old Jerusalem sucks. It's nothing but liars, deceivers. And that's what Jacob was. He was a deceiver, right? I don't particularly see Jonathan Clegg as a deceiver because he taught me the most out of anybody because of the system that's in play, that's secret. God, the Spirit, the Father in heaven, that I say worship Him, He is what gives discernment to me, to you, to others, but you may not recognize Him and you may not give Him credit because you just pass it off as, well, no, it must be a person. No, it's a spirit. It'll always be a spirit. that's what prepares you to deal with things when Satan attacks you. So I've been attacked by my kid's mom. I've been attacked at work by the own workers that are there. And I've been attacked by my so-called brothers and sisters on YouTube that I've come across out of nowhere. Getting a following on the YouTube platform that I didn't even know existed from before. And now it does. And then it's like that thing. Yeah, I mean, look, Robin's just, he ain't nobody. He's just somebody looking for truth. We're going to stomp him out. He's going to make a meltdown video in no time. Watch. Ain't that right? Agents are people too. That sure is right, Scotty Potty. All I sense is foul spirits. And the leader, the ruler of those foul spirits, I just want you to know that they all need to go. It's time for them to go. It's time for everybody that got paid well to get paid like me. Nothing. Do it for free. Let's see if you really, really want to keep doing it for free. Or, I'm sorry. You know, the ones that know all about the Illuminati and the signals and all that stuff. It's time for your channel to start over from scratch with no money getting paid from anybody. And let's see if you want to continue to do it and try to establish something on your own. Because it's time for that to take place. All the channels that have, you know, thousands of millions of subscribers or hundreds of thousands, or you have your channel monetized, and you have AI subscribers, AI bots, AI commenters, whatever it is that you're talking about, or even to say the main pastors on YouTube, like Paul Begley. I don't have much of a problem with Paul Begley. I know they're all false prophets. But I understand your situation. But it's time for your type of channels with all of those views and subscribers to turn into my channel and others that have to do it from scratch and see where it gets you. And if you're so dedicated to spreading the word of God, then you're going to do it for free, just like I did. And because I've already put in my work and others have, my work follows me. And it's time for us to get compensated. So the tables have been flipped over. The money exchangers, this is how you exchange money. It's time for the currency to go in our direction. So all of the people that are hired that think they're going to continue on and they ain't worried about anything, you should be worried. If you're not worried about what's getting ready to take place, you may not know the destruction in Philly is going to happen. It may not even happen, but if it does, you may not believe it. And when it happens, and it may just happen exactly to the T, the way I said it, they may have, no, I think actually I would have to predict it, that it was already set in place. That's what I think. I can't I can't make it happen the way that I seen it with timelines and everything. I can only see it happen and then tell you, because I can't stop or prevent anything. I can't stop gang stalking. I can't prevent bombings from happening. I can only tell you that I think this is what's going to take place. So for those that smile a lot and you have easy lives and you like to watch people and you surveil them and you're going to watch them later, like that kind of thing, well, it's time for you to be watched. And that way we can watch you turn back and go back to original form, which is being humbled, and all of your money is taken from you. Your bank account is stripped. Your channel is, basically you die. That's what the death is. Will I die? Sure, maybe. My channel? It might. But who runs YouTube? Whoever runs YouTube, I'm pretty sure you're going to want me to stay up, especially with destruction in Philly, because that's the time where my channel legitimately, if it doesn't already have millions of subscribers that are hidden, secretly watching, but at that time, to be able to predict something that actually takes place, something like that, it's a lifelong retirement fund. And that's earned because I don't believe people are really dying anyway. It's bombs set up. It's people that live all around there. They get people to get away. You may hear so many people die, but nobody really does. I don't believe it. I don't care if it's a burnt sacrifice or not. If you're burnt, it's a sacrifice that you burnt yourself. Or you just get burnt by the word of God, and that's the sacrifice. So I did this for free. I made my own Walmart video. I monetized it again. It got me $114 or something last month. Hey, it's something. I appreciate that $100. It'd be nice if I could get 50,000 views a day like other people do and get $250 each day for a video. I could live with that for the rest of my life. That'd be a nice little compensation. I would do video. I would still talk and whatever, but it would be monetized because now all the work that I put in and predicting this destruction in Philly that I've been shown just makes sense. It's earned. I'm telling you, nobody's dying. So it's not like I'm looking for, like, man, I can't wait and hope that's going to happen, because I don't believe people die, because I believe they have a way of getting people out of the way. Blocking off the roads or some sort of causing a major bombing at first, like at 17th and JFK at 5:55 a.m. on March 16th, 2022, to get people out of the way. So Liberty 1 and Liberty 2 and the William Penn building can be gone. But they would only do that if the system's going to collapse and they're going to rebuild from the ashes. And then the truth gets to be told and listened to, and no more shills and no more CIA agents telling on themselves, pretending that they're not, acting like they get mad when people call them out when they are. You want to talk about hypocrisy? Yeah, that's exactly what Christ came to do. Call out the hypocrites. When you're speaking in a language that's telling on yourself, you're the dummy snitch that's snitching on yourself. If you get mad. If you're not getting mad and you enjoy being exposed through the Spirit because you're supposed to tell on yourself, then fine. Jonathan Kleck was supposed to be the whistleblower from the inside. And he's not going to die. He's not getting touched. He's not getting hurt. Nothing's going to happen to him. Matter of fact, he just gets to live with a new spirit inside. So 5 years ago, just about, you guys are in trouble. You guys are in trouble. I don't know why. I don't know who you are. I don't know anybody. But I don't like what I'm seeing. It's making me sick. And Obama interrupted my sports. And now, my fan is being interrupted. My heat is being interrupted. My energy drinks are being interrupted. My marijuana is being interrupted. Everything's being taken away from me. So you know what? I'm going to show you the light. And those that like the light, you're going to walk into it. The ones that would rather be in darkness, enjoy your darkness. Because it's all going to come crashing down. No matter what you do or say anymore, that's what's going to happen. So I was prepared for it with learning how to fight in the court of law, being accused, things I didn't do, fighting, proving stuff, writing letters to vice presidents of companies and getting the person fired because rightfully so, he deserved it. And then same thing with YouTube. It's no different. My channel wasn't taken down for a reason, and so I'll endure to the end. I'm going to see exactly what I want to see in the end, but I didn't want to go through it for these past 5 years. I didn't know it was going to be like this, but I accept it because the end result, my house, where I live, whatever car I want to drive, whatever I want to do day in and day out is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a shop where I have access to getting all types of materials to create badass body kits and hoods for vehicles, because that's what I love to do. Rims, putting wheels to the perfect size tires together on cars, nice suspension, just redoing it. You want to talk about East Coast customs? Well, it's RT Customs. And I treat my employees right. I show love to them. I don't overwork them. I pay them well. They'll respect me because of those reasons. I want people to feel good about themselves. I don't want people to fear me, or I don't want to be intimidating to anybody except for to Satan.